We're just going to have a Sunday chat talking about spices and herbs. Hello, family. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki, and you're with Grammy in the Kitchen. You know I talk about Azure Standard all the time, and I get all my spices and herbs from Azure Standard, and I buy it in bulk. And I also have a backup of my spices. I have some in the kitchen. I keep some in the pantry that's in jars. And then I have some that are in a bin with a snap-on lid for my third backup. But I don't want to just talk about how and why I buy my spices from Azure Standard. I want to talk about prices. Now we're going to start off with garlic powder. A pound of garlic powder will fit in a quart-size mason jar, which is perfect. But as you can see, Azure Standard for 1 pound is $10.11. At Lidl's, they have a 2.47 ounce jar, and it's 85 cents. You would need to buy 6.47 jars or bottles to equal 1 pound, and that's $5.49. Yes, that is cheaper than the $10.11. But Azure Standard does not buy garlic from a non-good resource. So they do have organic, but this is just their conventional. And even their conventional is going to be a better garlic or a better quality garlic than Lidl's. So even though it is half the price, it's not equal in quality. Keep that in mind. But the rest of the prices will amaze you. Onion powder. With Azure, 1 pound is $6.65. And again, that will fit in a quart-size mason jar. Lidl's, they have a 3.52 ounce jar, bottle, and it's $2.49. You would need 4.54 bottles to equal a pound, and that's going to cost you $11.30. Azure is $6.65. Huge savings by getting it from Azure. Most of the herbs will fit in a gallon size jar. This was, well, it is basil. And when I got the 1 pound, it actually filled this whole entire jar. So keep in mind, a pound is a gallon-sized jar. Azure has Italian seasoning at 1 pound for $8.89. At Lidl's, their bottle is 1.34 ounces, and it's $1.69. You would need 11.94 bottles to equal a pound, and it would be $20.17, $8.89. Big savings if you get it from Azure. Basil, again, a dry herb, fits in a gallon-sized jar. Basil with Azure for 1 pound is $7.46. At Lidl's, their bottles are 0.56 ounces at 85 cents. You would need 28.57 bottles to equal 1 pound, which would be $24.28. $7.46, $24. Oregano, Azure Standard, 1 pound is $9.93. At Lidl's, it was 0.42 ounces at 85 cents. You would need 38.09 bottles, and that's going to cost you $32.37, where Azure is $9.93. That, my family, is a huge, huge savings. And last but not least, paprika. Azure Standard has 1 pound for $6.88. At Lidl's is a 1.76 ounce bottle for 85 cents. you would need 9.09 bottles to equal 1 pound, and that's $7.72. It's not quite $1 more. And if you're like me, if you're going to go ahead and buy the cheaper herbs and spices from Azure Standard or get it in bulk, you might as well get the other items also. Azure Standard does not sell anything that doesn't meet their standards, whether it's organic or conventional. It doesn't matter. It has to meet their standards. I have said this several times in my videos, especially when we do our pantry reset. Most of the garlic that we consume here in our country, in America, is not grown here. Most of our garlic is grown from Asia, China mostly, and they're not grown in conditions that you want your food to come from. I don't want my food coming from in those conditions, and I hope you don't want your food coming from those conditions either. If you look at a garlic bulb, if you buy a whole garlic bulb, if you look at the garlic bulb, I don't have any right now to show you, but if you look at the garlic bulb and where the root end is, if there's no dirt in that root end, then it's not grown in our country. It's not grown in your country. Dirt is one of those things that cannot be transferred from one country to the other due to soil conditions or any kind of bugs or whatever. There's a whole list of reasons why you can't move dirt from one country to the other. You can buy seeds, you can buy food, you can buy produce, but you can't get dirt. So when that root end of that garlic is completely clean, that means it wasn't grown in your country, in my country. You want your garlic to have a dirty root end. That way you can tell it was grown in your and my country. That's why I get all of my garlic from Azure only, and all of my spices and my herbs. One, it is cheaper. Second is it's a better quality. Even if you don't get organic and you get conventional, it's still going to be a better quality than you can get in the store. So family, down below in the description, you're going to see a link to Azure Standard. I do get $25 credit if you spend $100 or more within 3 months of signing up. And it has to be a one-time $100. But that doesn't mean I'm anybody special. Once you become a customer of Azure Standard, you will also get your link. And then if you refer somebody, then you will get $25 if they spent $100 or more. Please bless me and my family. Go check out Azure Standard. Use the link below. And consider buying your herbs and your spices from Azure Standard. If you don't buy anything else, get your herbs and spices from Azure Standard. I absolutely love them. I have not got anything from them that I was not happy with. Nothing. I absolutely love them. And I will promote them until the day I die. So go check out their prices. See how much you can save. If you cook from scratch, if you cook with ingredients and not by convenience, if you cook by ingredients, if you're like me, you're going to need all of these spices, because I have all of these spices and then some. I've told you in the past that we don't buy pre-packaged of seasoning such as taco seasoning, fajita seasoning, or anything of that nature, chili powder or chili seasoning. We don't buy those. We make those from ingredients such as garlic powder, basil, oregano, I got oregano right here and Italian seasoning. Now, the spices I just showed you is only the tip of the iceberg of the spices I have gotten from Azure Standard. Because with ingredients, I can make a healthy meal that tastes delicious. If you don't mind, go check them out. See how much money you can save. Now, whether you spend the $100 or not is irrelevant. If all you want to do is spend $50 and slowly build up your spices, that's okay. Still use my link. I just won't get credit for it, but use my link anyway. I'd rather you have quality ingredients in your house than for me to get the $25 credit. That's nor here nor there. But if you do go over $100, then I get that $25. But the $25 is not the reason I'm telling you this. I'm telling you you can save money for quality ingredients to start feeding your family a healthy, nutrient-dense meal that you made from scratch from quality ingredients. I'm going to put 2 videos over here. One's going to be a day in the life and the other one is going to be a pantry reset. Please go check that out. The pantry reset will show you my spices and how I stock my pantry. You'll have a blessed day. Bye, family.